Welcome to Huddle Up,
Brought to you by the Fields Huddle Group.
Jaguars senior writer John Osher, NFL Network analyst and former Jaguar Bucky Brooks, and senior reporter J.P. Shadrick bring you the latest on your Jacksonville Jaguars. Huddle Up starts right now.
Welcome in. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks on this Wednesday, May 14th. And Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks is brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. See Fields first, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com. J.P. Shadrick, John Osher. We're at the Hyundai Studios in the Miller Electric Center. Bucky Brooks with us in Los Angeles, California, in the aftermath of rookie minicamp. Bucky, good afternoon.
What's up, guys? How's everything?
It's going. We're rolling right along. Rookie minicamp is in the rear view. Phase 2 wraps up this week. Next week, John's favorite part of every offseason, organized team activities begin.
Give me more. Give me more OTAs, Bucky. You know, the only problem with OTAs is you can only have 10.
Oh man, I just wish that we could have so many of them. I wish they could take place the entire offseason.
Yeah.
Why can't we go every Tuesday, Thursday, let them get to work? Let us feel like football is back. But I'm glad to know that after another week, we're able to get some of those practices in, and I know how much you love tallying up the completions and stuff.
You know, and that's where John really does not like the media schedule this year. He wishes he could go to all 10 and cover them. They can only go to one a week.
It's a problem. It's
one a week.
Look, I've said it a million times, they're really, really important for teaching and for these guys to learn what's going on. Mm-hmm. When you ask us to go out and evaluate based on what's going on or analyze, that's where the disconnect is created. So God love them for being out there. More power to it. Learn, take it seriously. But to ask me, hey, John, what'd you think of Wyatt Milam? Oh, he looked great. He's a big person. I don't feel any different about Wyatt Milam than I did the day he was drafted. I think he's going to be good. I think he's a good fit. We'll see what happens in August.
Yeah, July, August.
That's my thought.
Preseason, all those. And to that end, same kind of idea with rookie minicamp, except the excitement is there. The rookies are on the field for the first time. It was Friday, and then Saturday was open to the public. And nearly 2,000 people came out here after an early morning, most of the morning thunderstorm situation. Well, they still packed the house, and Travis Hunter is a big reason why, of course, their first opportunity to see the number 2 overall draft pick on the field. He played wide receiver exclusively both Friday and Saturday. And then Coach Cohen said after the rookie minicamp that he'll get some defensive work moving ahead starting this week. But, Bucky, it's all about Travis Hunter and seeing him move around. Same thing, though, no pads. You're not going to get a whole lot of idea of what he can do, but you get a little bit of an idea of how he moves compared to the other guys in rookie minicamp beside him, and it's a whole lot different.
Well, it is a lot different, and the main thing is it appears for both you guys that Travis Hunter passed the eyeball test. When we talk about the first rounder coming in, making sure that he looks the part. So it appears that he passed that test with flying colors. I got a chance to see him moving around a little bit. I saw some of the clips that were circulating on social media. And yeah, he definitely looks like a different breed when it comes out there, and how easy it is when it catching the ball and moving around and those things. I also like the plan of letting him get used to playing one position before they slowly integrate him into the other position. But look, man, we talk about star power, and ultimately you got to have enough stars on your team to win at a high level, because those stars are typically your blue chip players. I think he's a rare find, a true superstar who is also an elite player who loves the game. He checks off a lot of boxes when it comes to being a special player.
Yeah, he moves different. I mean, and he brings with him the confidence that he should. He carries himself the only way that he knows how. Which is with incredible enthusiasm, a boyish love for the game, all that stuff. And that's what the Jaguars wanted. It's, you don't take Travis Hunter and then tell him to come in here and, not smile and, hey, stand over on the sidelines.
Yeah, quit dancing.
So, look, everything that you wanted to see in a mini camp, the ease with which he moves, that catch right there, you saw it all, and as with anything, nothing matters with this kid until the pads go on in September, and that's when you'll see sort of how he can hold up physically in this league.
Yeah.
And I think the fascinating thing that we'll get into more and more and more, and it's been talked about a lot since the draft, but it hit me when Liam Cohn was talking about it, JP, on Saturday, just how much this can't be a guy. Like when I was in college, JP, I liked to go to class and just go to class and then go take the test. So I found out after a couple of years that didn't work, and I had to go study at night. So I think that's really, he's got that. But to do two positions, Bucky, in this league, in order to be good at one position, you need to be taking the books home with you. To be good at two, this is going to take a tremendous amount of discipline, focus, daily, weekly, throughout the season to be mentally prepared. And I think they think that he's that guy.
Yeah. Okay. So there are a few different things that I want to touch on before I even get to that point of it. I'm going to say this, and I want to be very, very honest in my analysis of Travis Hunter. When Travis Hunter was coming out as a wide receiver, I have in my notes that I thought he was more of a playmaker than a polished technician. And part of the reason that originally I skewed towards him playing more defense than offense is I felt like he was an athlete, like a catch ball, make things happen just because I'm a better athlete than everybody else on the field, and it's going to happen. What I'm excited about is Travis Hunter linking up with Edgar Bennett, who is a very technically sound teacher who has done this a ton with a lot of young players in Green Bay. I think about the James Jones, the Randall Cobbs, the Jordy Nelsons, how he literally took those guys from step one and helped all of those guys become Pro Bowl players. With Travis Hunter, this would be, I would say, the best athlete that he's ever worked with to teach how to play the position at a high level. And just looking at the clips, you can see how the refinement is going to help his game go to another level. The other thing, when you talk about him playing two positions, to have someone play two positions at the pros, people always talk about why it's never been done. And it's not only the physical part that's taxing, it's mentally the drain that can happen in trying to study and prepare for two positions. And to do that, a player really has to be all in and really immersed in football. Can't have really what I call outside distractions, can't be pulled in a million different directions because it's too hard to have other things going on while locking into football. The thing that we've known, that we've learned about Travis Hunter in this process is not only a great academic scholar, a great athlete, but look, man, he loves ball, and he doesn't have many hobbies outside of that. Like people talk him dancing on social media and fishing and those things, but he's a football player all day, every day. And it takes that level of commitment to be able to pull it off. Very confident he's going to do it. But I think the reason why the Jags are confident has less to do with the player and more to do with the person, which is why I'm hopeful that he's going to be able to do it at a high level.
I got to tell you, John, I mean, you talked about extra studying at Florida. All the extra studying you did was at the Purple Porpoise, probably, right?
I
Don't tell me
did not
about
go
extra
to the
studying.
Porpoise that much because I was a very young college student. So my fake ID was not on a level that I would have liked. So I'm not saying I never partook. I didn't partake that much at the Purple Porpoise.
Neither did I. No, never did. The new season's right around the corner. Time to get your season ticket membership is right now. Be at the bank for every touchdown. Secure your seats at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, JP Shadrick, John Oehser, and you guessed it, Bucky Brooks with us as well. Speaking of tickets, single game tickets will be on sale very soon because the schedule comes out on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. One Jaguars game has been announced already. The Jaguars in London, Week 7, Wembley Stadium, under the arch. They'll face off against the Los Angeles Rams. Get your popcorn ready. Gladstone Cohen revenge game. Bucky, sign me up.
Doesn't get much better than that, right? So there's so many storylines that'll be going on. Like they'll talk about us for a while as being Rams East, given all the things and the similarities and the crossover that exist. But also the challenge that Liam Cohen would have is, man, anytime you have an opportunity to take on your mentor, you're going to feel some kind of way. There are going to be some emotions and some feelings that kind of come up when you're on the opposite sideline of someone that you have a lot of respect for, which Sean McVay certainly deserves that respect given the impact that he's had on a bunch of the guys that are now Jaguars. So this would be interesting, but look, I think it's one of those games that we'll call a measuring stick game. For so long, the Rams have been one of those teams that we talked about in the upper echelon of the league. They're Super Bowl champion. They've won. They've been able to go to the playoffs the last couple of years after having slow starts. So there's a toughness and a resilience about this team that you admire. And so as the Jaguars are taking this team on in the middle of the season, it will be a good test for the team to see where they're at and where they want to go. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I usually when I write or talk about coaches or players playing their former teams, I feel a little fraudulent because I don't really believe that it matters that much once they get on the field. I think there's a little bit of emotion to it, and then a lot of times we overplay it. But with this one, I don't really feel that way because of the clear connection that James Gladstone has with Les Snead and how influential Gladstone was in how they built the Rams, which I think was very influential. I think Les Snead would tell you that. And I do believe that Liam Cohen was heavily influenced by Sean McVay and, wants to embrace those things. Sometimes guys leave where they've been and don't really consider themselves an ex-Eagle or an ex-what, like, I'm not referencing Doug, he did, but you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I do think the Jaguars have, to an unusual degree, embraced hey, that's the North Star. That's what we want to do. I think Gladstone's well within his rights to it because he influenced so much of what they do. Of course he would do things the way the Rams did it because he was a big reason they were doing some of the things. So I think it's on that level, it will be very interesting. I don't know if the Jags win. I don't know if the Jags win the game or not, but I don't necessarily expect that the Jaguars will look completely like the Rams yet because they got a lot of players that these guys didn't bring in. It's still transitioning, but I think it's very, very interesting to see how this is starting to look compared to the Rams, who are sort of a finished product of this process.
Yeah, no, I do think all those parallels, all those things that you talk about are certainly in play. But then every coach will kind of circle a handful of games on the schedule where they're saying, hey, this is going to be a good test for us to see where we're at, where we can improve. This team will be a mirror for us to be able to figure out what decisions we need to make to kind of maximize our team going forward. Because of where this game sits on the schedule right in the middle, it literally is a perfect opportunity to play the game and then have a chance to kind of review and reflect on, okay, here's where we are, here's where we're good at, here's where we're bad at, here's how we want to improve. And we get to do it against a team that is kind of the model for what the Jaguars want to be. And that's not being like disrespectful or saying, hey, we're trying to be exactly who the Rams are. We're trying to create our own identity, but there's some ideals and I would say cultural pieces from the Rams that we certainly want to use as a framework for how we build the Jags out. This is a good opportunity to kind of see that, to have our players see that, not that you're going to spend all your time talking about, hey, guys, we want to be like them, but there's going to be some crossover, some carryover, and there's certainly going to be some discussions that will exist when it comes to, hey, this is how we do it, this is how we want to do it, this is how we used to do it at the Rams, this is what we want to do here, and those things. So it will be a natural muse to utilize to help the team kind of have a better picture of what they want to be going forward.
A few other notes that we know as of right now, as of this taping of the schedule, the Jaguars do have scheduled opponents in the AFC and the NFC West this year. That means road trips to two of those teams in each of the divisions. That means a lot of travel in the air. That also means a lot of 4 o'clock window games because those home games for those West Coast teams are 1 o'clock local time. That means 4 o'clock Eastern. We'll see when in the schedule they are. That's the big mystery coming up. We'll get answered.
This is the Bucky Brooks schedule. He can walk to some of these games.
This is right in his backyard, some of these. So this is perfect for Bucky.
I mean, I'm not mad that we have a very West Coast schedule, that we have some things on this side of the country. It should be fun. It'd be an opportunity for me maybe to take the lead a little bit on some of the dinners that may take place and kind of picking restaurants and doing some of those things, like kind of exposing some of the West Coast life
Sounds
to the
like
guys.
Bucky's
that
pulling
should
out
be
the
fun.
plastic.
It sounds like it.
I mean, it just depends. A lot of it depends.
That's the
It
case.
depends
I'll
on,
come out there
like
too. Don't
sometimes,
threaten me.
I mean, like if I'm pulling out the plastic, that might be an eat it in and out type time where I give you like a different type delicacy. If someone else is doing it, then it's more of a boa, a nobu, a thing like that. It just depends on who's paying.
They still
It
have
just
Ponderosa?
depends on where we go. Yeah, it just depends on where we go. I mean,
Animal
Golden
different
style.
Corral?
strokes for different folks. Different strokes for different folks.
Animal style on Bucky. Love that. What else? Final thought here. What else do you want in a schedule, John? I know your answer. I know your cynical answer, but I don't think it's as cynical as everybody might think.
I want, 17 1 o'clock home games is what you want. But I guess what you really want in a schedule is a late season bye. I think it's what coaches like, a late season bye. I think you like a couple of Thursday games if you feel like they're games you can get and then get the break. And then beyond that, I think most coaches, I know I look at it, it's not something you can control. And one thing when you're trying to analyze these things when they come out, you don't really know what a team is until 5 or 6 weeks in anyway. So we spend so much mental equity. Oh, it's a hard schedule. It's an easy schedule. Look, if you're a good team, and if you're going to make the playoffs in the NFL, you've got to play good and beat a bunch of good teams. It doesn't really matter when they are or where they are. And I think good teams generally get to the playoffs, and there's not that many undeserving Super Bowl champions. So it all comes out in the wash in the end, and we pick apart these schedules. I look at a schedule like this. When you think your team's good, a lot of schedules look very manageable.
Yeah.
When you think it stinks, every schedule looks hard. So I think a lot of Jaguars fans are used to the team being bad, which I don't think it's going to be this year. So I think the schedule's going to look hard if you think you're a 4-13 team because you lose a bunch. But if you're good, then you go like they played Seahawks this year, right? A 10-17. On paper, it looks like, oh, well, it's tough. Well, if the Jaguars are going to be a 9-8, 10-7 team, which I think they think they're going to be, then you go win some games against teams like that. In the past, they've lost them. So, that's not very good analysis.
That's what it is.
But that's how I feel about the schedule. And if you're good, you go win the games.
It's funny you talk about the schedule. I think there are a few ways. I'm gonna put on like the scout hat first, and I'll talk about like the things that you want to see is
Bucky wears a lot of hats, JP.
Yeah,
a lot of hats.
I heard about that.
a lot of hats. So the scout hat will be okay. When are the division games? Normally they're the back half of the season. When is the bye week? Where are the measuring stick games? You would like to kind of have one of those games that you view per quarter as, okay, we want to track our progress each quarter of the season. Let's see where we're at. So that's how the evaluator in me would look at the schedule. Like, how can we progress? Is there an opportunity for us to get on a run and get hot going into the postseason based on the schedule, even though we don't know how the teams are going to be, but do we have an opportunity to really make a run, building momentum as you're heading into the postseason? The player in me, the first thing that you're looking for is, when is the bye week? when do we split it up? When is the bye week? And do we have any primetime games? Because the energy is different when you play a Sunday night game, a Monday night game, a Thursday game, any of those things. Do we have any showcase games where, if you're a person selfishly who has Pro Bowl aspirations, all pro aspirations, when am I going to have an opportunity to play on a big stage where everyone can see me? Those things excite me or whatever. And then finally, like the rivalry games and those things that kind of pop up. But it's about the bye week and primetime games. When can I be showcased as a player? Those are things that I want to know.
I love that. That's tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern. We'll find out the schedule release show. We'll have that on Jag social media. Watch out for the social media channel as well. Every team in the league now has a different type of schedule release video. It's exclusive to social. over the last few years.
It sounds like you don't like that. It sounds like you don't like the production that goes into making
you, me or John?
No, you.
Me.
JP sounds
I'm just
like
saying, look out for it. It's cool. Some of these teams have great ideas.
A little snarky, a little sarcasm in your thing. Like, come on, we're excited.
I am
Be excited. Be excited to see the video.
It's cool. What else do you want me to say?
JP's also trying to outlaw cheerleaders and Twitter. So
I want you to be more enthusiastic. more enthusiastic. I need more enthusiasm from you.
Hey, the schedule's out tonight at 8. Look at on social media.
Yeah, more energy. Yeah. Come on, man. The grass. It's about the grass.
It's all about the ball.
I can tell you, it's my understanding.
The podcast reveals your DNA.
What's
the
that?
podcast is your resume.
Yeah.
The podcast is your resume.
The eye of the sky watches us all. What's that, John?
I can tell you that my understanding is the schedule release video is well worth watching this year.
I need more energy out of you, John. Come on, John. Give me more energy than that. See, Bucky, he's doing the same thing.
I know, but that's his role though. Like, you're the hype man. He's more the studious type, like the calm. He's going to teach. He's the professor of the program. He's going to let us know. He's going to give us the details. Not a lot of frills, but substance, more so than sizzle.
My professor hat. I only have one hat. It's the professor hat.
Is that? Yeah, that's the one
like
hat you have.
If John is the steak, it's not coming out with all the Twizzlers and all that other stuff. It's a nice, well-crafted steak, but like not a lot of bells and whistles there. It's not like the birthday party. It's not that. It's meat and potatoes. This is what we're getting. It's very to the point.
And I'll let Jeff order it for me.
Yeah. Oh, that means it's going to be a little Wagyu.
Ain't no animal style there.
It's going to be a little Wagyu. And it's going to be some fine wine. It's going to be consumed with that too.
There may or may not be a broadcast the next day. Bucky, we'll talk to you again next week. Appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Looking forward to it.
OTAs next week. Bucky Brooks, John Osier's excited for that. I'm JP Shadrick. And our thanks to David Cho and Joe Fortunato. And thanks to you for watching and listening to Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.